Yes, love changes everything. Everything. It's Climby Fisher. Sarah's on the air right after the news at 5, which is coming up in 50 seconds. We are back tomorrow with, let's have a look who we've got here. Shane Filan and also Kian from Westlife. And Gabby previews the Women's Euro semi, England v Sweden. Have a good evening. Good evening.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. The UK's promised to stage a celebration of Ukraine when it steps in to host next year's Eurovision Song Contest. The remaining contenders to be the next Prime Minister are preparing for their first head-to-head TV debate of the campaign. And fans holding on to see Adele in Las Vegas finally have some good news. Next year's Eurovision Song Contest is to be held in the UK. Organisers say Ukraine's accepted it can't host the show because of the conflict in the country. Potential host cities are now being asked to submit bids, with at least a dozen already declaring an interest. Our arts correspondent David Silito has more details.
When Ukraine's Kalush Orchestra won this year's Eurovision Song Contest, there were immediate questions about whether the country would be able to safely host next year's show. In June, a statement was issued by Eurovision saying it wasn't feasible and that it was beginning discussions with the UK. Ukraine asked for further talks and was supported by Boris Johnson. Now, a month later, it's finally been agreed that the UK will host the show, with assurances following a meeting last week between Boris Johnson and Volodymyr Zelensky that the show would celebrate the country and people of Ukraine.
Court of Appeal has ruled doctors can stop providing life support treatment to a 12-year-old boy who was left in a coma after suffering catastrophic brain damage 3 months ago. Archie Battersby's parents have been given 48 hours to take the case to the European Court of Human Rights. Archie's mother, Holly Dance, says she doesn't intend to stop fighting for her son.
I'm prepared to take whatever option we can take it, obviously, to the next level. Come this far, there's no point in going backwards now. It's like this country too quick to euthanise these children. You know, you've got Charlie Gard, you've got Alfie Evans, now you've got Archie. It's not fair.
Researchers from Glasgow and London say they've identified the cause of a spate of mysterious liver problems affecting children around the world. Their findings suggest 2 viruses re-emerged after pandemic lockdowns ended and triggered rare but very serious cases of hepatitis. More than 1,000 children, many under the age of 5, are thought to have been affected in 35 countries, including the UK. The 2 rivals for the Conservative leadership, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, will hold their first head-to-head debate tonight. It's taking place in Stoke-on-Trent and being broadcast on BBC One from 9 o'clock. Our political editor Chris Mason explains why the city was chosen to host the debate.
It is one of the seats that the Conservatives won at the last election, having not won it previously in recent times. And then the audience that will be live in the room are all Conservative voters last time round. Now, some since have perhaps gone a little cool on the Conservatives, but it's a test, if you like, both geographically and demographically with the people in the room as to whether Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak can continue to appeal.
Cricket Scotland has apologised and vowed to make improvements after a report found the governance and leadership of the sport in the country to be institutionally racist. Almost 450 examples of racism were discovered, and the governing body failed on almost all tests of institutional racism. People are being advised to only travel by train on Wednesday if absolutely necessary, as Britain prepares for another major rail strike. 40,000 members of the RMT union are expected to walk out in an ongoing row about pay, jobs and conditions. Only 20% of services will run on Wednesday, while some places, including Blackpool, Portsmouth and Bournemouth, will have none at all. Adele has finally announced new dates for her Las Vegas residency. She postponed the previous run with just 24 hours' notice earlier this year, upsetting many UK-based fans who'd bought flights and hotels. The singer's apologised to anybody affected by the delay. Mark Savage has the details.
There's a fire starting in my heart.
Fans who spent thousands of pounds to see Adele in Las Vegas were furious when she cancelled her residency just a day before the opening night. At the time, she blamed a COVID outbreak and production delays for the decision. Speaking to the BBC last month, Adele said she'd had no alternative.
I thought I could pull it together and make it work, and I couldn't, and I stand by that decision.
Announcing the rescheduled dates today, Adele apologised for the delay and promised fans she would give her absolute best when the show's relaunch in November.
In the city, the 100 share index closed up 30 points at 7,306. And the weather cloud will move southwards into eastern England, bringing a few showers, but any rain should soon ease during this evening. Mostly dry with clear spells elsewhere, but some showers in northwestern Scotland. Temperatures could hit lows of 15 Celsius in London and 11 in Cardiff, Belfast and Edinburgh. And that's the BBC News at 5:05.
Catherine, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
And thank you very much, Mr. Steve Wright, for a fantastic show, no doubt. In fact, no diggity, no doubt. He'll be back tomorrow from 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and everyone in between, welcome to your magnificent Monday Tea Time extravaganza. As the weekend disappears quicker than a prawn ring on a wedding buffet, let's ring in the changes and flip this moan day into a Marv's Day. Our show is so laden with music, we'll have to waddle to 7 p.m. like a toddler with a wet nappy. Our features will make your head spin more than a politician's spokesperson. And of course, there's you, the witty, the wise, the young and the old, the shy and the bold. All of you text in now on 88291. As it's a Monday, there's Jukebox Jam, plus first and last, the half hour and meet your Bessie before the Sarahs, plus Barbie Few and Waxidental. I'm excited. John's excited.
Your meat is soft and tender.
Thank you, John.